So essentially what I'm doing is I like last minute decided to wake up, drive as fast as I could, within reason, from Vegas to Anaheim, so I could buy tours and barter. I'm like feeling kind of artsy.
You know how to box step?
Throw it on the ground, right? Now's the time.
also mind-blowing. Right now, an action figure that has not been created, but I am excited to own. I want to welcome one of these phenomenal gentlemen who has spun the wonderful world of sneaker culture into a whole other animal by creating retail spaces and connecting dots for artists, collectors around the world, literally. If you can't find it, he probably has a pallet full of them. Let's welcome Urban Necessity's own, the Don doing his thing, your man, 2J, the Chula, the Mac. I have his face tattooed on my back. He's a general. Fly, Chula, let's go. Get comfortable, my brother. The next individual has such an impact on this culture. He's been around early, he told me about it, and then I had the great pleasure of not only meeting with him, but having parties where we were both together, and he would be madman. But the way he has elevated the game with tangible products, taking art to the next level, inspiring a generation, I gotta tell you, I am excited to have this gentleman on the stage. So all my beautiful people here who love their life, make some noise for Tristan Eaton! Tristan, get comfortable. Now, guys, let it be known, we're gonna be doing this panel in American.
That's for you.
Oh my gosh, I'm excited. Let's go. This is beautiful. Tristan, JC.
Man, how are you?
Holy moly. Holy moly. Now, homies, thank you so much for being present, not only at Designercon, but passionate in the space that you guys are in. But we'll talk about the influence of hip-hop and art and all of these other things. But coming to a 2023 Designercon, influential, but being a kid, a fan of the culture, what was that like for you in hip-hop, and what made you see that this was a larger-than-life culture?
I mean, I think for me, hip-hop has always been like in my DNA, right? It was the first thing that showed me that I could push the boundaries and be accepted and have expression. And that went in every direction, from fashion to art to, you know, poetry. Like, that's all I know. It's hip-hop. All I listen to.
Yeah. Tristan Eaton, great thing is that not only are you a passionate illustrating everything that you do, but coming up in this game, what were those things that spoke to you outside of putting pencil to paper that inspired your work?
Well, I grew up in cities, man. I'm a city kid, so graffiti was everywhere. You know, my older brother did graffiti, got me into it, and I grew up in LA, London, Detroit, New York City, big graffiti cities. And I just want to be like my older brother's friends who do graffiti. But when I got to New York City in like the late 90s, I moved there when I was like 19 years old. I caught on to this like underground world of toys from Hong Kong. And they were inspired by hip hop, right? So before all of this, before Kid Robot, there were these artists in Hong Kong making action figures that looked like b-boys on the street. Michael Lau, Jason Sweet, Eric So, the godfathers of this art toy movement, right? The only other people making art toys were Cause, Futura, Stash, J-Quan with 360 Toys, not a lot of people. And I was like a 22-year-old kid who loved hip-hop. I started my career doing flyers for hip-hop parties and radio stations and all that. So I saw these art toys inspired by graffiti and hip-hop. I couldn't believe my damn eyes. But the truth is, these kids in Hong Kong had like a cousin who worked at the factory in Guangzhou. So they were able to make these toys mad cheap. Rotocast vinyl, the cheapest way to make a toy. And they started this movement. Like Designercon wouldn't be here without Bounty Hunter making art toys in the late 90s. And Michael Lau making art toys in the late 90s in Hong Kong. But they were hip-hop inspired. So that DNA has been in the art toy movement since day one. Now, fast forward to me helping start Kid Robot, and I'm curating artists for Kid Robot. So the first toy I wanted to make was the Cheech Wizard. Now, if you know your hip hop history, we're talking about Vaughn Baudet, all right? And the Cheech Wizard was like the Mickey Mouse of graffiti. Every subway train had a Cheech Wizard or a Bodie Broad on it. And I knew Mark Baudet, Vaughn's son. So I told the owner of Kid Robot, we're gonna make the Cheech Wizard toy and let everyone know we know our shit. Because hip hop DNA is in the art toy movement. So we did that, and I was so proud of it. I didn't get paid for that project, it was out of love. But then I had the luxury to go to like the Graffiti Hall of Fame, like what is it, 104th and Park or whatever, and walk around and badger these dudes and be like, yo, do you want to make a toy? I'm talking to Dez, rest in peace, K Slade. And I'm like, Dez, you want to make a toy? Let's make a toy of your B-boys. I'm talking to like, you know, all the graffiti greats, annoying little 19-year-old Tris, just, you know, bugging everyone to like make art toys. And from then it's grown into this thing where it's not just hip hop. The art toy movement is about the medium. And every walk of art has brought something to the table. But the founding of this art toy movement, hip hop is what set it apart.
Wow, amazing. Even that you reference Casey as Dez is very special. And speaking to that narrative, Jay, if you can, the importance of being authentic and authenticity in this space to know that the creators of these tangible items have their heart in the right place.
Well, it's everything, right? Without being able to be passionate about the product that you're creating and trying to put in this space, thank you. Like, it's just not gonna move, right? If you can't convince yourself, let alone the people in front of you, how are you gonna have anything that holds value? And the most important part of hip hop is having a validating, it has to have a validating narrative. It has to be something that can stand on its own too. And, you know, ironically enough, the way I came up on Tristan is through Everlast, right? Like, and that's how I met him. And I've got so many wild, like, stories of Tristan through Ev that are like, you know, like, it's cool for me to be this guy that really didn't know how I could interact in this space that I love, and found a platform that's allowing me to interact with it every single day and not look like a tryhard or be out of place. Like, I come from trying to share the passion and show it and articulate it and create this museum that for me started with, you know, music, but it's morphed into sneakers and then clothes and now toys and art, and like that's where retail is. Like, this is the most socially accepted our hoarding has ever been, right? And so to be in a room like this and have so many different creators that today you might walk by and say, shit, that's really cool, but I have no idea who this guy is. And 5-10 years from now, you're gonna come back and be like, I remember when that guy only had like the closet, bed sheet, backdrop, but now he's got like a full-blown activation with LEDs and screens and tall statues and selling wine and got all sorts of, you know what I mean? It's really dope to come in here and see where people's head and like creative ideas are taking this space. There's no boundaries anymore. There's no restrictions.
Let me also add that like a lot of the collectors, cheers. A lot of the collectors and makers and creators grew up with like a golden age of toys, right? From He-Man to Transformers to G.I. Joe, collecting and toy making or toy design was a huge part of our DNA growing up. But who knew it would be a DIY medium now? Right? So you look at hip-hop culture and the DIY aspect of it, where you make your own tape, you sell it out the back of your trunk, or you like, you know, yell at people on 34th Street, or whatever it is. Hip-hop has a do-it-yourself nature to it, right? You know, screw everyone else, I'm gonna do it myself.
Cool, thank you, I appreciate that.
Who knew that toys would be a medium like that too one day? So for me, that was like mind-blowing that like you could do your own set of toys and only make 50 pieces. And it would be limited edition, and then you break the mold afterwards. And, you know, you don't need a big company to back you to do it. No one saw that coming. as another medium for us artists to express ourselves with. And now it's become a norm. You know, from Murakami and Cause, and every big artist is making toys now. It's not cheap. It's not, you know, considered unvaluable or too mass market. It's a way to buy an authentic part of that artist's oeuvre, you know, to get high art here. And that's a beautiful thing. You know, it's really amazing.
Now, Jay, as we're going along, I know you also an individual who has, you know, questions about certain things in regard to this forum, which I know you know a lot about, maybe specifically to Tristan. But when you're quote unquote eating, you know, nothing because you're doing things for free, out of love, out of passion, you're not looking down the line yet. You're still an individual who's like, I'm just trying to be a part of the conversation, taking risk. You know, even if I'm eating an L, it's okay because it's done out of love. But how important was those that early years for you?
Well, for me personally, I saw the long game with Kid Robot. All right, my first royalty check from Kid Robot was a laptop because I didn't even have a good computer back then. I was like hand drawing my toy designs, and I didn't even know how to use Illustrator. And I knew my value, and I knew art law. So in the early days of Kid Robot, I didn't ask for a lot of money up front, but I wanted a royalty for the rest of my life. But I also wanted a copy of product forever. Anything that was made with my art, I wanted them to send me copies of that. So to this day, I get shipments every month of like bags and skateboards and toys and you name it. So I have like the biggest Kid Robot collection on the planet, and I've never eBayed one piece of it. That's all for my son and my nieces and nephews. But I knew my value even when I was taking a loss up front. Where I was like, okay, I want more royalty and less money up front. Because I believed in myself, but I also believed in this movement. And I don't come from money, so it was hard to do that. Because I was living in Crown Heights and like in eviction court every other month, and you know, life was hard back then for me personally. And but I believed in it, so I took the risk on myself. And for young artists out there, there's something called the Graphic Artists Guild Guide to Ethical Pricing and Guidelines. Right? It's like your pocket lawyer. It's a book that the Graphic Artists Guild puts out every year with boilerplate contracts, standard guidelines for pricing. So back then I was reading that all the time. So negotiating with toy companies, I was a nobody, but I was like, oh wait, you know, there's a standard here, even though I'm no one. You have to at least pony up in a fair way.
Well, I'll tell you, man, I got a kind of a love-hate relationship with this whole world. Because of hype, right? Man, and
Well, it's monetized, it takes the fun away from it.
well, let me talk about it. Talk about culture, a culture defined by a corporation. That's not culture, that's shopping.
Yeah.
That's shopping. Culture defined by people is culture, okay? So when I see, you know, this beautiful generation of artists making things themselves, DIY culture, and making and selling their own toys and sculpture, that's culture to me. When the corporations are coming in and trying to ride on that hype, that's not culture, that's shopping.
Well, that's the biggest problem that a creator has. It's empty field, right?
Well, yeah, because you need the corporation to ride the hype and get more.
And here's the real downside of it, right? I talk about this a lot. I've mentioned it to you a few times, but as an artist or a creator, you want to make it perfect before you let it go. Right? And the guys that you have is for that business that you're curating work for. It's like, this is good enough, even though I know you want to put 300 other lines in this. Like, it's taking away from the margin, so to make it perfect could cost them. So you got to put down a watered down product. And as an artist, you let it slide, but don't let it slide, and then you break it, and then you walk away, and then you go back in, and then you tap dance, and then you realize what you mentioned, which is, you can do all of it on your own. You just have to be okay with not being the biggest. You just gotta have a core following that understands, appreciative respects, and then you go there. So, like, even though I'm not the guy that makes toys or makes music or hits a skateboard, like,
I get that part more than ever. I think that's kind of the space where it's helping kind of.
But you're in a unique place. Artists need you.
I'm in
minority sort of collections, right?
Yeah, I'm in Norton. Like I don't
You're right in the middle where we need you.
I don't know what direction I'm supposed to go. I don't know if I'm supposed to.
So a couple of hours ago, we were talking from him in Vegas, and then he just says, "Steve, I'm driving down."
Yeah, I had been buying stuff for me yesterday.
Yeah.
And I woke up this morning, or actually I called my camera guy late last night. I was like, we're going to Anaheim. And then I drove like 140 miles an hour all the way from Vegas.
Yeah.
To get here, just in hopes to be able to interact with you. And I'm like 15 grand into
That's beautiful.
20 minutes before being up here.
So now,
I'm running out of time.
So now,
the culture store, so I can go stuff.
Tristan, with the future ahead of us, what do you like to see more of to continue to stay authentic, to stay grounded and forever evolving?
No. I like that question, as I'll talk about it very specifically. I want to see more manufacturing options for people inside North America, outside of China, because young artists are now priced out of manufacturing in China. The MOQs are too high, the bleed-in prices are too high. Back in my day, my old man Tris over here, we used to make 100 pieces of a Roto Cats vinyl toy and pay $12 each, and then sell them for $400. Like, it was great back in my day.
Yeah.
But now it's not like that. Minimum order is going to be
paying like $1,000 for a sample.
and 2,000 pieces minimum or something.
Yeah.
So a lot of this is true. China has been invested heavy in factories in Mexico in order to help this problem. So I hope that more manufacturing options become available for younger independent artists domestically, so they could make toys and not pay through the nose, not have to be drowning in huge MOQs and all this stuff. Like, you want to be able to make 100 pieces. You don't have a huge audience yet.
Yeah.
You can't sell 3,000 toys. So, having access to manufacturing that's affordable, that's what I hope happens more domestically. And I think until that happens, a lot of people have to learn how to mold at home. Be super DIY, right?
And you know what's exciting for me to hear him kind of like hear you go off on this part is there's so much evolution that is still needed, and there's so many, it's like an onion, and we literally just think about the top few layers off. There's a gazillion layers, and there's no right or wrong way to approach this onion. We just gotta address all of them. And the cool thing is like, how long before you had something that like stuck where it's like, okay, I'm Tristan, and everybody knows. What was that, 12, 15 years?
Man, I've had like 5 careers at this point.
Right, that's what I'm saying, yeah, 30, 40
I
years.
reinvent myself every like 7, 8 years.
So imagine what the next 5 and 10 years of this looks like, when now more than ever, everyone's excited about trying something different, pushing the boundaries, we're holding better conversations. These brands are now really giving you an opportunity to have a little bit more leeway compared to what it was for you in the 80s. I'm really excited about what this looks like and where this goes the next 10, 15, 20 years. And I just hope that I'm still not lost in the noodle or watch it happen.
Guys, everybody in here who loves themselves, celebrating the wonderful 50th anniversary of hip hop and the wonderful Designercon here at this space. Please, once again, make some noise for our phenomenal guest, JC 2Ts. The beautiful, inspiring Tristan Eaton. Thank you. Once again, I am Detroit, Sirius XM 45 Show of Kid Gems. I love my life because I get to hang out with superheroes like these. Stay amazing, y'all.
See you at Shutters.
Peace. What's up?